Hi, I'm Matt from HockeyReviews.ca, and this is the kind of quick look, first look, and comparison to the QX of the Warrior Alpha DX stick. So obviously, Warrior's next line of the Alpha, so their second generation one. The Alpha replaced their Dynasty stick, which was a mid-kick. This is now a mid-low. And the QX, I think, was basically the first step of Warrior going to too much lightweight. I feel that when they went to this stick, the blade weighed so little that it was like you basically couldn't feel it because there was no weight in the blade. And that was a huge disappointment for me. I feel they went for a weight chasing number instead of an actual balance number. And they carried that on to the QR Edge. So the Alpha DX, how does that feel? So this one comes in at 405 grams, which is fairly light. One reason it's not quite under 400 is this one does have the max blade height. So Bauer came out with this a couple of years ago on their P92, where the blade height was the max it could go. Warrior did the same thing here. This is also, so this is called a W03 max. I think they have a W88 as well, but W03 is kind of my curve. Because W05s are so hard to find. So W03 max right here gives you a bit more weight on there. As a comparison, we'll put these side by side. You can see the difference, hopefully right here. You definitely do get a taller blade throughout and a bit longer as well. And this is a normal W03. So curious how that plays. I think the idea is so you can knock pucks down easier, so pucks don't bounce over your stick as much. I'm a fan of trying new things, so I went that route for all my latest sticks. So one thing that I find really interesting about this stick is, so they have a new way to do textured grip, or the new way to do grip. Basically, the grip now is on the actual graphic of the stick itself. So it's no longer like sprayed over top of how most grips are. This one is the graphic that is applied to the stick is where the grip is, which is pretty interesting just in how sticks are made. Does it make a difference? I'm not sure really what the big difference is, to be totally honest. This grip I feel is much less textured compared to the QX, which as you can see had this awesome grip right along the edges and I really liked it. I wish it went down a little bit further, but it's fine. I mean, that's basically where your hands are up here anyways. I love the little grip texture like this. I was a huge fan of it. Not a huge fan of the stick overall, but a huge fan of it regardless. I always find Warrior sticks play more flexible than they're rated. So this was an 85 and I felt it too whippy. This is 100, so we'll see how that plays. One big change on this stick compared to the old one is their new Minimus Carbon 140D. So the old one was 1000. The D is for directional. And if you look at the stick itself, it's actually easier to see on the DX Pro because the DX Pro doesn't have the painted look on it. So it's really hard to see, but it was kind of like this on one of my Hopa sticks as well. You can see there's no real weave on the back end, and hopefully it shimmers through. It's just one direction of carbon fiber compared to, see if I can get actually any weave on here. So kind of down here, how it's all weave here, and on the top right there. So the idea of that is if you have one direction of carbon fiber, it will be stronger in that direction, supposedly. It's also lighter weight because you don't have overlapping fibers with like a checkered pattern has overlapping parts on it. This one would have less of that. So that's the direction they went with that. I'm curious how it plays. I haven't used it yet. Obviously, I have been injured, so I'll be doing a full review of this in the future. But yes, I'm very curious how that plays. I love the colors on this stick. So I talk about graphics a little bit on sticks. I love the colors on this stick. I liked it on the Alpha, but I liked the addition of the blue on the DX. And I love the shiny Alpha logo and the DX logo. My only complaint is it's almost impossible to tell what stick this is from a distance unless you either really, really know or you see the top of it, which is right here. But this is going to be covered by tape a lot of times, so that's kind of disappointing. I wish they pulled this down a little bit. This is just me nitpicking, and not really reviewing the stick, but just talking about how I think of the aesthetics of it. Like I said, I'm not a fan of how the grip is less textured as the old one, but we'll see how that plays as well. I do like the max height for another reason. and that's because it adds more weight to the blade. So this stick, the normal DX felt a little bit blade light to me. So just like the QX, where I felt like it doesn't feel like it has any blades because the balance is a bit off. With the more weight on the blade, it adds weight, or sorry, with the taller blade, it obviously adds weight and it makes it a bit heavier on the blade. So I actually know where the bottom of the stick is and where the blade is specifically. So I like that. So that's why I went with the max height as well. But so I kind of recommend that to get a better balance, because I think Warrior sticks aren't that well balanced right now and they're kind of going to be too light. So that's a nice change or a way to get around that. So that's about it for this really quick video. Full review of this coming in the future. See how it plays. See if I think it's any better than the QX, which I was very disappointed in. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. Remember to subscribe to me on YouTube, follow me on Instagram and Twitter, hit the bell icon on YouTube so you get notified when I make new videos. On Instagram, I'll have like small little posts, kind of like comparisons of these two. Just like graphics comparison, materials comparison, stuff like that, which aren't big enough for a video, but might be helpful. And if you ever do buy a piece of gear because of one of my videos, please let the manufacturer know so I can get on their radar and get stuff like this so I can do reviews on. So thank you very much for watching, and take it easy.